Every time I meet and deal with new people, I learn something. Everyone has a story, and everyone's story is slightly different than the other. I've never been in a position where I actually thought I knew everything about everything, because I had sense enough to know when I was younger that once you get to the point where you can't be teachable, you're on your way to death. You think I'm tripping, I'm serious. But anyway, there's a situation where the person I was associated with, no, it wasn't romantically, we were just friends. But every 2 seconds I found that he was contacting me, telling me how horrible his situation was with his old lady. I have a lot of platonic relationships. A lot of members of the opposite sex that I've known over the years, and they talk to me. Nothing else going on, and if it is, it's going on in their mind, because I'm not dealing with them on that level. See, I'm not the type of person that wastes my time playing those games. If you're interested in me, let's do this. But I'm not going to sit here for 10, 20, 30 years and play this little cat and mouse game with you for you to decide what you're going to do with me. I'm not going to do that. So if there is something going on in his mind about me, then, and he hasn't said anything so far, if he did dare tomorrow, I probably wouldn't consider it, because I figured that, he's just not assertive enough. That's just my opinion. That's my choice. But anyway, I noticed over a period of time, I started praying about it. I was like, Lord, you know what? Something's just not vibing with this thing. It'd be like 3 times a week he's calling. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, he probably wants you on the download. Well, it doesn't matter what he wants, because he didn't get it. So I asked him one day. I think it was one of those days where I was just super busy. And he called me. I didn't answer the phone. I called him back. And I said, hey, what's up? What's going on? He literally sounded like I don't know what kind of animal it was, but anyway, he was just all in his feelings, all in his emotions. You could have sworn that somebody shot his dog. I don't know what was happening that day, but apparently he must have found out that his old lady was cheating, and he was all out of sorts about it. And he wanted to know if we could get together and have coffee, this, that, and the other. I was saying to myself, wait a minute. No, I can't do that today, dear. I can't do that today. Well, I thought you were that we could spend time together and this, that, and the other. I said, no, because you're too much into your feelings right now, and I'm picking up an energy that I'm just not sure of. You're too much in your feelings. You're not speaking rationally like you normally do. I said, what you need to do is you need to decide what you're going to do now. If you found out for sure that this is going on and it's not anything that you can move past, then you need to go ahead and just pack and get a hotel, extended stay, or something like that until you can get a lawyer. But if it's something that you can work out, then I'm not the one. You need to go ahead and go to your pastor or go to a counselor and see if you can work it out and find out why these things were happening with her. But for you to just find out an hour ago and you're calling me on the phone, first of all, that's pretty risky. And second of all, you're just way too emotional for me. It's too much. I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind counseling people or giving my opinion on things. But see, when you call me, you got to make sure that you got to be together. Because once I find out that you got a history of being out of control emotionally, I can't deal with you. Because that's an indication that there's some underlying conditions going on. Especially if it's more than one time that you're going on about the same thing. It's a whole month later, 2 months later, and you're talking about the same thing at the same level of emotional intensity. No. The only time that I can help someone is if they're working with a rational mind. And when you are emotional, you are not rational, you are irrational. I just felt like that maybe he was using me as a scapegoat, a form of escape, whatever, frustration and everything he had. I mean, what if I was really, just hypothetically, what if I was really silly enough to say, oh, you poor baby, blah, blah, blah. Let me go. Yeah, meet me at the Starbucks over in New Market. Yeah, ain't no telling what would have happened. And it would have ended in regret, because 9 times out of 10, he probably wound up going back to her, and I found out a few months later he did. And I also found out it wasn't the first time she cheated either. I do have a question for the fellas, though. Why on earth? Now, I don't know. I don't get this, and I don't know if it has something to do with programming. Once upon a time back in my day, if a fella found out that his woman was wild and loose and he was doing everything that he could do on his end and trying to be a stand-up guy, he wouldn't fool with her no more. He wouldn't fool with a woman that was out of pocket. He wouldn't fool with a woman that when he came home, the house is a mess, the bills ain't paid, no food, kids looking all kind of crazy and everything. He wouldn't be coming home every day to that. Back in my day, he would not doing it, especially if he the one making all the bread. Ain't no way in the world. There are men nowadays that are pulling good money, making close to 6 figures and more, and they'll come home to a junky house. They don't know where the wife is, kids are a mess, or if they're there. And then when he tries to have a conversation with him, she's all up in his face. And then when he goes to divorce court, he wants to play victim. No. I'm not saying how she behaves is right. She's just doing what the hell she can get away with. Or how about the ones that are back and forth? They'll turn around and they'll be involved with somebody. They can't let them go. And these are men. Men. These are loud, inconsiderate, uneducated, backwards thinking, non-cooking, non-cleaning, non-bill paying, non-adding numbers, non-nothing. All she can do is gymnastics in the bedroom. That's all she can do. And after a while of her having him, she act like she don't want to do that because she's giving it up to somebody else. And they will run home to him. I'm trying to figure this one out. So somebody, could you please explain to me what it is? Could you please explain to me what it is? And I know the women that are perfectly good. Perfectly good. I mean, they are doing everything they can. They're God-fearing, they work hard, everything. They're not perfect, but they're doing the best they can. They're better than some that I know and can't get these men to pay them near one attention. Maybe they don't because that's beneath their level. They need something better than that. But I don't know where this crop of men came from. I really don't. Let a woman sit there and dog you out just because she look good. She can hang off the trapeze in the bedroom. That's all you need. Your self-esteem is that low. And you're making all this money and paying for it. Some of you marry them. Okay. Let my son come home with that mess. Let my son come home with that mess. I'm not going to sit here every time he turn around. He going to bring somebody home. And if I don't like him, I'm going to say, look, you don't need that. I'm not going to sit there every single time he brings somebody home, no matter where they come from or what they look like. I'm going to sit there and smile and be polite because that's a Southern hospitality. Southern hospitality, my butt. You ain't going to bring nothing in my family that's going to tear up my legacy. No. I'm working 6-7 days a week, side hustles on a regular job, just so I can have a legacy to leave my children and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. It's a little late in the game according to some people, but that's fine. I am working on it. And there's some people who live their whole lives is not doing it. And I'll be doggone if you're going to bring something in my house that's going to turn around and turn it upside down in one foul swoop. You're not going to do it. That's a demon. I ain't letting no demons in my house. Just saying.